One day marked both a leap into outer space and the birth of a new nation. On July 30th, history gave us the first lunar rover and the independence of Vanuatu, two milestones that redefined exploration, identity, and what remains possible. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Earth Sights on This Day series. Today we're exploring July 30th, a date that connects the moon's surface to a remote Pacific archipelago. We'll look at the bold journey of NASA's lunar rover on the moon in 1971, the emergence of Vanuatu as an independent nation in 1980, and why these stories matter, and how they reflect the broader themes of exploration and self-determination. Let's begin. On July 30th, 1971, the Apollo 15 mission made a monumental achievement, the first use of the lunar rover on the moon's surface, a groundbreaking moment in human exploration. Launched July 26th, Apollo 15 was the fourth manned lunar lander. After a three-day journey, Commander David Scott and lunar module pilot James Irwin touched down on the moon. Meanwhile, command module pilot Alfred Wardens orbited above. On July 30th, Scott and Irwin emerged and tested the Lunar Roving Vehicle, LRV, a $40 million vehicle that could traverse the lunar surface at up to 10 miles per hour. They spent 18 hours and 33 minutes outside the lunar module over 3 sorties, exploring more terrain than ever before. Imagine being stranded on an alien world. Before, you were confined to walking. Then suddenly, you can drive. That's how the rover changed everything. The rover allowed astronauts to cover greater distances, collect more samples, and push the boundaries of what was possible on the lunar surface. Scott and Irwin even left the rover behind, as did later missions Apollo 16 and 17, and some of its tracks are still visible today. It represented a leap not just in distance, but in ambition. Everyone watching Earth from halfway to the moon grasped the power of invention. From lunar tracks to islands rising. Our next story unfolds thousands of miles away in the South Pacific. On July 30th, 1980, the people of Vanuatu, once known as the New Hebrides, gained independence after decades of colonial rule under a dual British-French condominium. European explorers arrived in the 17th century, and mission activity began in 1839. Some missionaries were killed by locals resistant to outside interference. By 1906, there were 2,000 French and 1,000 English settlers among 65,000 in Vanuatu. Britain and France established a concurrent condominium. 2 governments, 2 legal systems, even conflicting traffic rules, right versus left. Imagine living under 2 governments at once. 2 currencies, 2 schools, 2 police forces. That was life on Vanuatu for decades. Rising native aspirations in the 1960s led to independence in 1980. July 30th became the official birth date of the Republic of Vanuatu. The island's journey reflects the global wave of decolonization, a struggle for identity and self-rule that reshaped international relationships. If Apollo's rover expanded humanity's reach into space, Vanuatu's independence expanded Vanuatu's reach into self-governance. Both stories showcase milestones, one in technology, the other in politics, but both about people claiming terrain. But from triumph to tragedy, the torpedoing of the USS Indianapolis in 1945 after delivering parts of the Hiroshima bomb. Only 316 of 1,196 men survived. July 30th is also the anniversary of one of the U.S. Navy's greatest tragedies, the sinking of the USS Indianapolis in 1945, just days before the end of World War II. In the early hours of July 30th, 1945, the Indianapolis was struck by 2 Japanese torpedoes in the Philippine Sea. The ship had just completed a top-secret mission, delivering components of Little Boy, the atomic bomb later dropped on Hiroshima, to the island of Tinian. With its high-speed delivery completed, the cruiser was heading toward the Philippines when disaster struck. The torpedoes tore through the vessel with deadly precision. The Indianapolis sank in just 12 minutes, taking with it nearly 300 men. About 900 sailors were thrown into the open ocean, many with no lifeboats, few life jackets, and no way to communicate their position. Due to the secretive nature of their mission and Navy miscommunication, no distress signal was ever received. What followed was a horrific 4-day ordeal at sea. Survivors battled dehydration, hallucinations, exposure, and, most infamously, shark attacks. By the time help finally arrived, only 316 of the original 1,196 crew members were still alive. This tragedy remains a haunting chapter in naval history. If you found these stories fascinating, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell us in the comments, which July 30th story interested you most? We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching this episode of Earth Sights on This Day series. Stay curious and join us next time as we explore another remarkable day in history.